Hello and welcome back to I'm Mad About Something. I'm Clove and I'm mad about something. I'm a crocheter, crafter, and content creator here on YouTube and Instagram, shameless plug. And usually I do pretty normal content and shorts because honestly they're way easier and they always perform way better, which is a little depressing. But today I'd like to make more of a dive into long form content and like video essays because I've always liked watching them. I like watching them while I craft. And this seemed fitting since it's about crafting. Also, apologies in advance if this video seems the slightest bit disjointed. I did have to edit some parts because I live like 2 feet from a railroad and it's always really friggin' loud. I'd really appreciate any constructive criticism, your thoughts on the video, tips for how I can improve if I do this in the future, and like, I don't know, something else I could talk about later. And by the end, when I finished rambling, if you like this kind of content from me, I'd really appreciate a comment, like, subscribe. It really does mean a lot. I know everyone says that, so sorry to be basic, but now that I've got that ramble out of the way, let's get into the main ramble of the video. People writing and selling crochet patterns has been part of the community since the beginning, which was forever ago. Many people who write and sell or give away for free crochet patterns are really nice, and I've worked with a lot of them. Check out my free patterns, I have a couple. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's an amazing community most of the time. Admittedly, there's always some kind of drama when you try and create a pattern and show it off to the entire internet. From like Temu resellers to people claiming they're copying each other, there's always some sort of problem. And I can talk about those in the future if you like this video. But I think the crochet community can unite against one common issue that we've all had, and that is AI in crochet patterns. I'm not the first person to talk about these by a long shot. It's been getting more and more prominent lately, unfortunately, and more popular craft channels have talked about it, lamenting this scam, getting mad about it, or even trying to actually create the things that AI patterns give them. But I wanted to give my own take and, you know, throw my voice into the choir of people complaining about this stupid stuff. If you watch those other people's videos, they probably have way more insightful takes on them, and you should definitely not take just my word as the only thing you're going to watch, because education is power and it's important to know a lot about a subject before you have like a concrete opinion on it. But let's get into it. When I want to crochet something that I know is a bit too complicated for me to make up as I go, I usually search on Instagram or Pinterest to find a free pattern for that before I go and look for anything to buy. Usually Pinterest gives me more options because for some reason Instagram's search option never wants to actually give me what I want. Tends to take a few tries on Pinterest to find a site that works and where the pattern matches the picture they provide. Up to a few months ago, scammers trying to get you to use their pattern over other ones would steal high-quality photos of popular and aesthetically pleasing patterns and use them as the product photo for their own pattern. Whether this pattern was any good or not was a toss-up and up to your taste, but it was still a lie, not to mention theft of someone else's content and the revenue they'd be getting if the person had used the right pattern for the photo. That hasn't gone away, but there's a new way to make money on crochet lies now. AI patterns and AI product art. Say you want to crochet a minion for some reason. Minions are popular, so there's plenty of crochet patterns for them. But now when you go to look, nestled in the middle of the screen, is one that looks way better than all the other ones. It's perfectly accurate to the shape of a minion, every detail's accounted for, and it's the exact shade of banana highlighter. Of course you want to make this pattern, you want this minion to be as good as a minion could be, for some reason. Following the link to the pattern usually takes you to a suspiciously ad-filled site, but you push on to where it starts. Upon making this pattern, you realize that while it is a minion, it doesn't look anything like the photo you were shown. Maybe if you were online a lot and well versed in spotting AI, you would have known before, but this crocheted minion does not exist, and it never will. At first glance, AI crochet images look too perfect, as most AI patterns and other art does. But when you look at them closely, you realize that AI does not really know what a crochet stitch looks like. The limbs flow seamlessly from the body, which is possible but difficult and uncommon. The backgrounds are weird and confusing, and it's just wrong. Maybe the pattern attached to the image was a real pattern, and you did end up with a minion, admittedly a slightly different one, but still. Oftentimes, people marketing crochet patterns with AI images are stealing the real patterns from someone else. If this is really a free pattern by some kind person elsewhere on the internet, the credit and ad revenue the scammers are getting should be going to them. Even worse if this is a pattern someone is selling. The scammer made one small purchase and is now denying this person all their pattern sales. However, AI can also generate the pattern itself. These are wildly varying in how accurate they are to the picture or the product, but when you go to make one of these, most likely you will not end up with anything near what you wanted, and you'll have wasted your time, yarn, and maybe money if you bought it. And even when both the image and the pattern are AI, something is still being stolen from the real creators. AI art works like that. It steals all the art, all the images and crochet patterns on the internet, and forces them together into a Frankenstein monster of a crochet pattern or a picture of a crocheted minion. That art, the people didn't agree for it to be used in these algorithms, but they don't get a choice a lot of the time. These people are sneaky and jerks. The patterns and crochet photos that I've uploaded and that anyone else has uploaded are being stolen and mashed together to create what these people are trying to pass off to unsuspecting grandmas as an actual pattern. I make no secret of the fact that I hate AI art, every single kind of it. I don't know enough about other kinds of AI to really have clear statements and educated opinions on it, but I am an artist. Even when I was 13, back on DeviantArt, I was making Warriors cat fan art all the time, and I was sitting there watching it be outperformed by AI, which DeviantArt supported for some reason. Admittedly, my warrior cat drawings were not the Sistine Chapel, but it is incredibly disheartening to watch it just be pushed out of the way in favor of some soulless Frankenstein monster of stolen art used to create a 14-fingered anime girl. It's soulless. It's computer-generated bullshit, and I hate it. I know that the physical objects I work so hard to create, like this, little ghost cat, can't be replicated by a computer. I mean, yet, anyway. Who friggin' knows what's next? But you see all these things that I make online. So how do you know that I actually did this? How do you know that I actually made this little cat? Maybe AI video is not good enough to replicate me doing this right now, but it will be someday. There's no stopping it at this point. The many-fingered, toothy images that we know the AI art was are getting replaced. It's getting better and better. The videos look more and more real. It's getting harder and harder to discern. And with crochet patterns, especially ones that you have to pay for, it's getting harder and harder to tell if it's AI or if the pattern creator is just a good photographer. Maybe I can catch them now, but who knows when I won't be able to anymore. And plenty of people already can't. People tell me that crochet is a grandma hobby, and I'm not a grandma, but a lot of grandmas do crochet, and a lot of grandmas can't tell if something is AI already. Even, the minion from earlier, they wouldn't be able to tell. It's so easy for these people to decide they're going to make a minion plush for their poor grandkid and turn around to give a scammer $5 for a few sad crochet abbreviations and a lie. I realize that there are other people who have much more insightful critiques of AI art than me, who have a very clear understanding of how it works and aren't just mad about it on the internet like I am, like I said in the beginning of this video. And I also realize that since I don't make very much digital art anymore, I'm at the least risk of being replaced, because most AI art is digital art, currently, anyway. But what else is there to do except for add another artist's voice to the choir against these stupid robots? Well, I can do a little bit. As a crocheter, here are a few tips for choosing your crochet patterns in the era of liars. If you're looking on Etsy or any other site to buy a crochet pattern, real creators usually have their social media mentioned somewhere in their shop description. If they don't, you can reverse image search to find the pattern, or search for their shop name to find them anywhere other than the selling site. Artists and people selling crochet patterns unfortunately cannot survive without social media anymore. Once you have access to a wider body of their work, it's much easier to tell if they're legit. If the person is in the photos they post, you can use the basic AI checks for AI images of people. Otherwise, you can see if their work is consistent, the backgrounds make sense, and other things to make sure that this is a real person or business. Many people who make crochet patterns have other crocheters test them before they go live to make sure that there's not any mistakes before they make people pay for a pattern. And I've done this a bunch of times, and I've had people test patterns. In addition to confirming that it's not AI, this is really good for making sure that it'll actually look how you want it to look, and when it's made by someone other than the original creator, it still looks how it's supposed to. If you're looking for a free pattern, you can also do these things to have the best chance of it actually working up how it claims it's going to, though obviously it's not quite as big of a deal since you didn't spend any actual money on it. Overall, the infiltration of AI into this community is insanely disheartening. Obviously, I don't mean for this video to just be a big long complaint, and I hope you got something meaningful and useful from it. That's the main purpose, really. If you're pro AI art, I know it isn't likely at this point, but I hope this video causes you to rethink it a little bit. Crochet and other arts are so deeply human. You really don't want to contribute to stealing the soul out of creation. What do you mean this is AI? I spent $8 on it. I can't afford this crap. All my money is tied up in hot coin.